joined by the legend that is Mr. Chris Allison. Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Chris, you're probably best known for being the drummer for Plini. You, I think, are like the master of groove. Your dynamics are tasteful, technical, and as always, very, very musical. Let's kick this off by I know that you've been super busy on tour with Plini. In fact, you don't stop touring. I think your Instagram has become more like a somebody who travels the world more than anyone I ever
A
see.
travel blog, sure.
It's like a travel show. What's one bit of your kit that you can't gig without? And I'm not talking like a snare drum or something. I'm talking about something that is yours that you love to bring on tour that you just can't go without.
Uh, I oddly bring a one like top of a boom stand that I've been bringing with me for like the last 8 years, maybe something like that. Uh, which I use to hold an X hat, and I yeah, I need that there because it's actually the little X hat thing that I play is a pretty crucial part of my sound within the context of Pliny, and I've been let down before, where I haven't, like if I've got a backline kit, for example, and that hasn't been there. So I just, play it safe and bring it myself. Because it's just the top half, so it slides in a pedal bag really easily. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
easy for me to just bring it, and I bring like oh my gosh, what do they call them? The attachment that you put on that you can connect it to a cymbal stand. I can't
Sure.
believe I can't think of what that's called. An adapter.
Yeah.
I got there in the end. And yeah, man, I've literally taken that thing everywhere. It's copped a beating over the last few years. But yeah, I take that everywhere. That's a pretty essential piece of kit. The others would be mallets. I bring mallets with me
Oh,
pretty much
okay.
everywhere, which is mainly for tuning. But I then decided I can put them in some songs. So the mallets come out
Okay.
in the gig every now and then. But yeah, I've been carrying those with me for a long time as well.
That's very cool. I like that. You've been a massive part of Pliny's live sound for a very long time now, and also obviously studio sound as well. How do you find space in such sort of a melodic and detailed landscape without overpowering it?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question. Yeah, I that's something I struggle with. Well, not necessarily struggle with, but it's something that I'm constantly thinking about,
Hmm.
particularly when writing drum parts. Like the music is pretty dense just by the nature of what it is, right? It is, and it is instrumental guitar music. That's the other thing. Like I'm not meant to be the forefront, so to speak. There are moments where that does become kind of essential, where I need to be. So it's like finding those moments of like, okay, where do I need to, does this section need me to add excitement, or is it just about kind of sitting back and just letting the guitars do all the work? Or yeah,
Yeah.
do I need to help the movement of the tune move forward by just playing a little bit extra busy or whatnot?
Yes.
So it's a conversation we actually talk about
Oh, really?
in the writing process of drum parts. So at the moment, I'm literally doing that at the moment with Plenty, because this year, although you just said all we do is tour, this year we're actually not touring.
Oh my God.
So he can write new music. So I'm literally in the process of doing this right now, and a lot of it is just I will record a bunch of different ideas for the same section, and then
Yeah.
listen back and kind of analyze it myself and be like, nah, that's kind of not the vibe, or
Okay.
that's too much or whatnot. And then I'll send it to Pliny. So he'll kind of then, choose what he kind of likes for the song, because at the end of the
Okay.
day, it is his
Him.
music. So, but yeah, it's something that's, it's just being about, it's about being honest with yourself. And also about asking like what is best for the song. Like is
Mm.
this just here to make me sound clever, or is this actually enhancing the song? And I prefer the latter, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
I like to, if I'm playing something, I want there to be a reason, a good musical reason for it, and not just, hey, look at this flashy new trick I've learned. That, that has its place at sometimes, and but for me, it's much more kind of gratifying if I can,
Yeah.
enhance the song basically.
I think seeing you perform live a few years ago, I was really even though Plini, it's like it is a guitarist band as you say, but I mean, obviously being a drummer, I'm watching you, and what really struck me about your playing is how precise it is, completely and equally mixed with how completely relaxed you are. I don't think I've seen many. I mean, when you see really precise drummers, they're absolutely on it. But it's almost like you've got this. You've taken a step back, and you're like, I'm just going with this. But you're so on the beat as well. Um, that must have taken such a long time for you to, find your own signature sound like that.
Uh, yeah, if you'd call it a signature sound, sure. I don't know if I would, but I appreciate that. But no, that the whole, playing as relaxed as possible, and yeah, looking like I'm doing my taxes while instead of playing this weird music. That's definitely something that has been pretty important to me
Really?
throughout my drumming career. Like well before I was playing with Plini. I I'm I talk to this about to his I talk to my students about this too, like some people that study with me. It's like I do a lot of hard work in the practice room to make the gig look as easy as it possibly can. So and what I
Okay.
mean, like I do a lot of work, and I've done a lot of work over the years practicing to make my life easy, and so I can be lazy on the gig, so I can just
Okay.
yeah let the sticks do a lot of the work, let do the pedals do more of the work, and I can just be up there, and I get to enjoy just making music with my
Cool.
friends, and I'm not stressing about the parts. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
it's something that I've consciously worked on,
Yes.
just to make my life easier when I'm performing, so I can just perform and I'm not worried about myself,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, and I can
I
kind of
understand.
look outside of myself, and I can laugh with
That's
like
great.
laugh with my friends on stage, and notice funny things that are happening in the audience, like, oh, hey, that guy in the front row has brought his girlfriend, and his girlfriend is falling asleep. That's funny. I
That
want to
often
laugh at
happen
that.
at a
You know what I
Pliny
mean?
show.
Look, I'd be lying if I said it's never happened. Yeah.
Okay, right. So tell me the most Spinal Tap thing that's happened to you during a show.
It's happened to me.
Yeah.
I've been pretty lucky where nothing kind of too crazy is happened that I can think of. Actually, yeah, I take that back. We did. We've been to India a few times, and there was one time. I think it was the second time we went to India. Where it was the last gig of the tour. I think it was in Mumbai, and it was the last meal there, and everyone ordered pretty safely. And I decided I wasn't going to order all that safe. Everyone got like I can't remember exactly. It was like some weird, not weird. Sorry, it was like a butter chicken pizza or something. Everyone ordered that, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to that. I'm going to get the goat curry. And I halfway through the gig, the goat curry started to kick me in the stomach, and so thankfully I made it through the gig okay. But I halfway through the gig, my all my energy just dropped,
Oh
and I was just
no.
like, oh, I feel terrible. And then I spent that the rest of that night hugging a toilet, and we had an early flight the next morning all the way back home to Australia, which is I can't remember how long that flight is, but it's not a short
It's not
flight. Let's
sure.
just put it
Oh
that
my
way.
God.
No flight to Australia is short, but it was not a fun. That was not fun. So I don't know if that's Spinal Tap or, but it's definitely poor decision making on my behalf. So I've learned my lesson there. But that's probably the most
Oh, that's
Spinal Tap thing that's happened. It's pretty safe most of the time.
I was
thankfully.
more expecting you to say, like, I don't know, I'd fallen off my drum stool, not necessarily that you'd nearly pooed yourself during a show. Um,
Right. No, no, I've never done that. Yeah, thankfully not. Thankfully not. I have got up and run around the stage a few times. We
okay,
did that in Chicago last year. We started a circle pit on stage. Uh, so I did do that. So yeah, but that's not very Spinal Tap, I guess. Um,
that's cool though. So you're playing. Obviously, we've talked about how precise and equally relaxed you know consciously make your style. You are somebody that I think is becoming really well known for taking on a horrendous but also amazing amount of time signature challenges within the music that you play. Um, do you think that for aspiring drummers of any age, of any ability, that learning to sight read is a great weapon to have in your arsenal, or is the drums a reflex instrument?
I think it can be both. Like I can read. I'm not, I'm not the strongest reader on the face of the planet by any stretch of the imagination. But I think reading does help absorb. You can absorb information a little bit quicker. So information I retain information a little bit better because of that. But with that being said, the first 5, 6 years of my playing career, I didn't read a lick of music.
Really?
It wasn't until I was like 18 or 19 that I started to properly read music. And I was, so everything prior that I was doing, and I was, learning dream theater songs and stuff like that. It was just all by ear. So, really dense music that I was listening to and trying to, and inspired by at the time. And it was just all by ear. So you can definitely do both. And there's lots of great examples of people that are amazing drummers that can't read a lick of music. But with that being said, I think there is an advantage to being able to read music because, yeah, it makes communicating ideas a little bit easier. So even within the context
Yes.
of a rehearsal,
Yes.
we can speak the same language. So I can speak to Plini or with Simon, who plays bass, or Jake, who's a rhythm guitar player, and we can talk the same language in terms of like, that bar where there's that dotted eighth note, or
Yes.
whatever it might be. It's like,
Yes.
okay, we're all on the same kind of page.
Yeah.
We know what that means. So there is that, rather than me going, in that bar where it goes dirt, it's not very clear. Whereas, yeah, if I can say, in that one bar there where there's that dotted eighth note figure, maybe we should do something with that, whatever, right? So there's definitely advantages. And then even just, from a purely drumming standpoint, it's like, okay, well, reading transcriptions of your favorite players, stuff like
Mm.
that, that obviously gets you inside their head,
Mm.
which can be really a useful kind of exercise.
Mm.
So yeah, there are advantages, but I don't think it is essential that you need to read music. Look
So
at Dennis Chambers,
yes, yeah,
right?
yeah. And Art Cruz, Lamb of God. Obviously, he's
Okay,
he's super open about the fact he doesn't read music.
there you
So
go.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, some really great
that guy
great
does
players out
not
there.
suck. That guy does
No,
not suck.
no, he doesn't. It's
No.
unbelievable. What do you think is going to be next for you? Obviously, I know that we've spoken a lot about Pliny, but your drumming is, you're an unbelievable player. Where do you see your career going next? Are you becoming, more of a, I don't want to say permanent member of Pliny's band, because I know that essentially you were brought on as a touring drummer, but then you've kind of embedded yourself more as a actual band member. Where do you see it going next with your career?
Yeah, so I really don't know. I'm not much of a planner in that kind of sense. I always just kind of take things how, as they come to me. So like even with Pliny, I didn't expect when I first started playing with him, that I'd still be doing it now, So the way I just take everything at face value as it's happening. So at the moment, I know, where he's writing music, I'm writing my drum parts. All I really care about is doing good work. I don't care who it's with. It's not. It's love. I absolutely love playing with Plini, and with Simon and Jake. It's like it's. I'm very fortunate to get to do that with those guys. We get along amazingly. We have fun. The best part about playing with Plini for me is that I'm hired to play like myself, which to me that's like the best gig that I could have, because I don't have to. I'm not sure I'm playing like myself under the framework of his music, but it's really not that different to how I would play anyway if I was writing that music. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yes.
that's a good, in terms of like a session gig, that's kind of the ideal. I don't have to play like a machine, or I don't have to play like someone else. I can just do my own thing. So for me, I just want to keep pushing myself to get better, experiment with things, do weird things. Like I did a little EP with some friends of mine, Dan Briggs, who plays bass in Between the Buried and Me, and Emily Harpus, who's she's most known, I suppose, for like reviewing pedals on YouTube. Crazy, massive, big YouTube channel. And it's a very odd record. It's electric harp, bass, and drums.
That's cool.
But it's different. It was a challenge to do it. It's some of my favorite recorded performances. So all I'm kind of concerned about is just doing more good work like that. And if I get to do it with cool people like that project, which is called Obverse, if anyone that does want to check it out, or with Plini and all that sort of stuff, like for me, that's where I hope to be doing more of. Just keep doing more exciting work, stuff that is exciting and that can challenge me. I've been playing drums for 25 years, more or less. So it's like, if I can still be challenged now, that's amazing. That's exactly what I want. I want to constantly be challenged so I can keep challenging myself, keep getting better, and hopefully do good work. That's really all I can control is that. So that's all I'm concerned about, and hopefully eventually I'll get to come over and see you again in the UK.
Of course.
Have a laugh.
Yeah, of course.
Which is always lovely. So, there'll be some more of that next year, without saying anything more than that.
Okay. We'll have to read between the lines until we get some sort of formal announcement.
Right.
But I'm assuming you'll be over here.
Anything otherwise.
Yeah. That's all right. My last question, Chris, before I let you go. What is the Chris Allison legacy? How do you want to be remembered in, let's say, 100 years' time?
Oh, I have no illusion that I would ever be remembered in 100 years' time.
I think you will.
Well, that's very nice.
I've got one of your vinyls, so I'll remember you.
Right, okay, sure. I guess it's similar to what I was just kind of saying before. It's like if, I like to do, if I can put out good work, that's all I can control. If people are listening to my drumming in 100 years, that's pretty surreal to me. It's surreal to me that people listen to my drumming at the moment. So if they're still doing it in 100 years, then amazing, But yeah, if they're just like, I guess, if I were to honestly sit down and analyze it, I'd want to have some sort of like integrity behind the work that I do. So it's like I meant the work that I did. It's not just doing work for the sake of getting a paycheck or something like that. I suppose it's like I want to play good music and whatnot. So if I can just put out good work, good art, I can't really ask for anything more than that. And if people are listening to it in 100 years or whatever, fantastic. So I guess that would be it. Good question though. That's a tough one.
Thank you. Thank you. No, honestly, Chris, you are one of the best live drummers I've ever seen. You're a super humble individual, and I genuinely cannot wait to see what happens next through your journey of drumming. Thank you for coming on Drummers Review. You've kind of hinted that you'll be sort of touring in 2026, even though you haven't officially said it, but I'm sure and I hope that we will see you very soon.
Oh yeah, you'll be seeing me sooner rather than later, that's for sure, man. But I look forward to it, and we'll have to have a grab a beer after the show and have a good laugh, much like last time.
100%. 100%. 10 beers. No. And they're on you. No.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. But thank you so much for having me, man. I really appreciate it. It's always lovely to chat to you. So thanks again for having me, dude.